And who knows what the sound's going to be like. You know, we're in a coffee shop and it's noisy. And there's lots of people coming and going, so
Sure.
we do the best we can. If you want to record this, you're welcome to. If you have your chart or you want to pull your chart up, you're welcome to do that. It's whatever you want. If you want to ask questions, ask questions. This is informal, casual. Right. I am Astro Yoga Woman, Debbie Barnett. Today is Wednesday, March 21st, 2018. And we're at the Learn Western Astrology Meetup group. There's Leah. Hey. And tonight our topic is the vernal equinox. In the northern hemisphere, we would call that the spring equinox, but not everybody is in the vernal or in the northern hemisphere, so we call it vernal equinox. We're going to look at the chart for Washington, D.C., so it kind of gives you an idea of what's happening in the country. This is the start of the astrological new year, by the way. Happy New Year.
It's Persian New Year too.
Persian New Year. Cheers. Salute. Raise a glass.
Do we toast or do we just raise our glass?
Whatever you want to do. I don't care. Salute the cactus in the middle of the table here.
Some people have to do that. Let's do the on thing. You know,
No, that's okay.
or something.
Prost. We need this. All right. So, Happy New Year. Astrological New Year. Back in December, we did another astrological new year where we did the winter solstice chart, right? So there's really kind of two. So think back to what was going on 3 months ago for you. What was up in your life, what was up in the world, what was happening in the news at that time, and then fast forward 3 months and see where we are today. And I brought the chart for that time too, so we'll do a little bit of a comparison of the two and see how they tie in together. Okay? So before we start, let's go around and introduce ourselves. I'll start with me, and we'll say our name, our big three if we know them, that being your sun sign, your moon sign, and your rising sign. And if you don't know, that's okay. And if you don't even know your sun sign, just say when your birthday is, and somebody at the table, I'm sure, will figure that one out. Okay, so Debbie, and I'm the organizer of the Learn Western Astrology Meetup group, and I'm a Leo sun, Cancer rising, Gemini moon. Leo sun, Cancer rising, Gemini moon. Namaste.
I'm Azar. I'm a Taurus sun, an Aquarius rising, and a Leo moon.
I'm Lana. I'm Taurus sun, Libra moon, Leo rising.
Sun, Libra.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm Leah, Cancer sun, Gemini moon, Sag rising.
Can you say it faster, Leah?
Yeah.
Did you just get here?
Yeah.
You in a rush?
Yeah, I just wanna-
Are you in your body?
Okay, not too much.
Yeah, that's your friend. Thank you for inviting. Okay.
I'm Larry. I don't know what the signs are.
When's your
but
birthday?
I was born May 23rd, 1959.
Okay, so he's right on the cusp. What would he be, ladies?
Gemini.
Gemini.
Yeah.
Gemini.
You're right on the cusp, huh? So the very start of Gemini.
Yeah.
All right. And then Kim.
I'm a double Leo, and my moon is in Cancer.
Okay. So who knows what any of that means? Some of you. I know a little bit about what that means. What that means is how most people see you. It's by your sun and moon, the two luminaries. And then your rising sign, that's when they get to know you. But your rising sign is your persona, or the facade that you put onto the world, your mask. And so when somebody says, guess my sign, it's really kind of hard to do because that's not what they're showing you. They're showing you their ascendant, sort of their mask. Yeah? But once you get to know somebody, or they start saying like, oh, I can't make a decision, or it's whatever you want to do. Oh, let's just be in balance. You know, it's okay. Don't worry about it. What sign would you think that was? Libra. So you start putting together these little clues, right, by listening, and they may not even know. Like, unless somebody's had their chart done, they don't even know there's anything besides your sun sign. They don't even know it's a sun sign. So you say, oh, you have Libra in your chart? No, I'm a Taurus. Well, You might have it in your moon sign or your rising sign or somewhere else where it's not as obvious, or even in Venus or something, some personal planet. So when you look at the big three, it's sort of a snapshot of that person. It's sort of what they show you, their internal individuality, and then how they react emotionally and their emotional internal needs, right? The moon sign. And then we start to look at charts. If you have your chart, which would be in a shape of a wheel, this is called a horoscope, and it's a two-dimensional map of the sky at the time you were born, or for an event in this case, the start of the spring, or the vernal equinox. And so wherever you have planets in different houses is going to have an effect on you, and then those planets are going to be in different signs. Is that a kid or a dog? It's a kid, okay. Sound like somebody stepped on a dog. And then when we look at this chart set for Washington, D.C., now this isn't you personally, however, you are citizens of the United States, you are residents of the United States, you are involved in the economy of the United States and its government and so on. So it has an effect on you, right? And so whatever's happening at this time of the event of this chart, if you put your chart on top of it, right, and overlaid it, you could go, oh, well, the sun's all in my 8th house or something, right? And then you start to see what area of your life is going to be affected by what's happening, say in Washington, D.C. yesterday, March 20th. Okay? The questions so far, questions, comments. Who has their chart? Who has it handy? Put it up? Okay, good. All right. So let's talk, before we get into the actual chart, let's talk about Aries. What do we know about Aries? Fire.
First sign of the starter.
First sign of the zodiac. They're self-starters. Cardinal sign. What does that mean?
Like to start
Start things, right?
initiator.
Initiating. And the reason for that is?
Because of the first sign.
First sign of the zodiac, but for the cardinal card, what would that be? Because it's the start of the seasons. Right. Cardinal signs kick off the seasons. So this is the vernal equinox, or the equal day and night in the northern hemisphere, the springtime. And then at the cardinal, the summer solstice is the start of Cancer, June 21st. And then Libra is the fall or vernal equinox in September. And then in December 21st, we have the winter solstice, or the darkest of the light, darkening of the light. Okay, so the cardinal points start the seasons. So cardinal signs initiate. Aries being the first of the cardinal signs and being fire, it's that first impulse of life. And the sun is is exalted in Aries. So the sun is strong right now because the sun is happy in this sign. Okay, so Aries tend to be self-starters, they're initiators, they're pioneer type people. They tend to be very independent. So their leadership skills aren't necessarily hands-on. They're more like they'll set the example. Oh, look at me with my work ethic, and you should model my behavior. But they're not going to go hold your hand and go, hey, you should work like this, right? They're just setting the example, and they expect you to follow. Or not. They're totally happy being by themselves. Right? So it's a really independent, initiatory time. And so what do we do in the springtime?
We clean.
We clean.
We start new projects.
Yeah.
Things.
New projects, clean out the old, spring cleaning, planting seeds, start new projects, whether in our business or home.
Things kind of come back to life.
Things
Like
come
start
back to
going
life.
outside more.
Yeah, we get out more.
What about like inspiration? Do you suddenly get inspired all of a sudden?
We do.
It's getting the weather is getting nicer.
Yeah.
Inspired to start exercising more or whatever.
Right, the weather's getting nicer, so we want to get outside. Well, think of fire, right? What is the impulse of fire? Right? It's passion, it's enthusiasm, it's excitement, it's energy. Right? So Aries being a fire sign, and then also ruled by Mars. Right? Mars is the planet of war, right? Planet of action, planet of drive. And so we've got this initiatory fire right? And a new beginning, and it's like everybody wants to get out and exercise and take action.
Now, is Aries also a hostile entity? Can it be like, I don't know, just angry?
Explosive. Any of the fire signs, abrasive, yes. So it's not good or bad, because in astrology there isn't good or bad. It's humans, like we put judgments, we like this, we don't like that. This is acceptable, that's not acceptable. I think of it more in terms of positive and negative. So each sign has positive traits, each sign has negative traits. Fire signs in general deal with ego, okay? So whenever you're talking ego, let's put it this way. In the three-dimensional realm, ego is king, right? So it says that because it's the third chakra. So the lowest chakra is fear and scarcity, and then it's pleasure and sex and creativity, and then it's power and ego and control. So if someone only gets to that point, they're successful in terms of the world. Like you see a CEO or a corporate person or somebody in a government, right? But it's all ego. It's not sublimated to the heart. So fire signs can be very egotistical. They can be very full of themselves. They can be very bombastic. And it's not just Aries. I'm a Leo. I'm a fire sign. I know of what I speak. And when you sublimate that ego to the heart, it tempers it and it softens it, right? And it's training the ego that you have a place. It's just not at the top of the heap. It's in service to something greater than you. So all the fire signs have a challenge of sublimating their ego. And so until they've learned that, Aries definitely can be abrasive because it is ruled by Mars, and Mars is very quick. It's quick to anger, it's quick to take action. If it sees something that it wants, it's quick to go after it. Like if someone has Venus in Aries, they're quick to, oh, I want you. Hey, let's go out. Come on, tonight, what are you doing? Andale, time's wasted. Right? They don't beat around the bush.
But would you say that Aries are self-absorbed?
All fire signs are self-absorbed.
Okay, it's a fire thing.
It's a fire thing.
Okay.
It's now, because I know plenty of Leo who are self-absorbed too. Probably me being one of them. But fire it's passion, right? But it's ego. So that passion is turned toward itself a lot of times. And a lot of the fire signs can have blinders on that only look at themselves. Right? And they only see what's right in front of them.
Like tunnel vision.
Tunnel vision, yeah. And so it takes a lot to be able to get them out of, you know what, there's more than just you here. Mm-hmm. There's more than just focused about you. But there's a time and place for that. Right? So here we are at the start of this season, start of spring. Time to focus on you. This is Aries. This is the first house, the physical body. Let me just talk louder, shall I? We got a duck here. We got a dog. We got a duck.
The child is 9 months old, by the way.
Okay, good.
I had the privilege of being in the middle.
Oh, nice. Yes, wonderful. And it's expressing, right? It's Aries. I have a voice.
Yes.
No, it can't be because we just entered into Aries.
Oh,
What would be
that's
9
true.
months ago?
You should ask.
Strongly disagrees.
Well, here's the point. Okay, he's a little bit young, but Aries being the first sign of the zodiac, it's like the 2-year-old. And what does the 2-year-old always ask? Why? Why? And so it wants to go out and explore the world to find out why. How does it work? Pioneer, the West? Let me go pioneer the West because there might be gold or diamonds or oil or who knows what's out there. Let me go explore. Why, right? So we're asking this very and it rules the head. It's the first sign, it rules the head. So a lot of times Aries got to be careful of head injuries and concussions and blows to the head. So when we're in the time of Aries, be aware of that. Like if you bike, wear a helmet. And if you're on a motorcycle, wear a helmet. And headaches, see? Well, plus the sun is square your sun. If you're a Cancer sun, that's a 90-degree angle. You're heading toward it, so. And squares demand that we take action. You're forced into a corner, take action. So drink more water. Yeah, I'm drinking a lot of water. Get some rest. Okay. So Aries time, focus on you. It's as if the year started. So like at the December solstice, that was time to do your planning. Right, that's the dark of the year. Time to do your planning. Here's what my projections for the year. Here's the harvest that I plan to get in the fall. And you start tilling the ground and getting your supplies ready and getting everything in place. Setting your intentions, all of that. Okay, now those seeds go in the ground. Now is the time that it's actually like starting to take off because it's spring here. Now things are starting to bloom and blossom. And I don't know about y'all, but I've been feeling like lots of energy. Yeah. How has that shown up for you guys?
During that Aries moon was when I was really like getting stuff done.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
So 2 weeks ago?
yeah, but when it was just, I felt like recently, but yeah, it's definitely been getting a lot of
not
stuff
the
done.
full month. Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
it's been working.
Good. Anybody else?
Recently?
Yeah, since the sun went into Aries.
When was that?
Yesterday.
Yes.
But it's been building. I mean, it's been coming.
I've just been a lot more physical, like
lot more
physically
physical?
active.
Like Larry was saying, wanting to get out and
Yeah.
exercise.
Just making it important daily or doing something. Yeah.
Good.
Which has been good.
So a suggestion for that on how to take action is in your calendar, write an appointment. I will walk 15 minutes in the morning, right? Make a little reminder thing so it dings at you and then you see it. You're like, oh yeah, and that way you make you a priority. That's self-care, right? So the more you take care of yourself, the better equipped you are to handle whatever situation comes your way. Whether it's astrologically or energetically or emotionally or anything else. So this is a good time to do that. So starting a walking program or an exercise program or changing your diet, because Aries, the first house, rules the physical body. Okay, so what action step will you take? Make a note. What action will you take around self-care? And maybe it's going to the community acupuncture clinic and buying a package of acupuncture or getting a massage or
Starting out that yoga program.
starting a yoga program. You know exactly where you can go to get that.
And they're quite lovely too.
Yes.
They really are enhancements to your life.
Yes, they are. Yoga is a wonderful enhancement to your life. All right. So if anybody would like to share, if not, that's okay too.
One thing I think also that's great now that we can go outside more and enjoy is actually just not even having to do anything outside necessarily or walking, but
Just being outside.
Being outside and kind of just being quiet
Yes.
and like enjoying it, because I don't do that enough.
I know.
For sure. And then in the little
Yeah.
moments that I do,
Right.
and I was like, I miss this so much. You just remember like what that can actually do for you.
Tucson's weather, when it's nice, it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
When it's not nice, it's not nice.
Right.
So it's like this is a window
This is
where
a
it's
good
like,
time.
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What was it like? Maybe 40 degrees this morning and maybe 80 tonight, so, or this, in the middle afternoon. So it was like, I set up a little shade thing on my patio and I had all my yoga mats. I'm like, this is gorgeous. I'm just going to be outside. And I didn't want to go in. It was so nice. And then when it's hot, forget it.
Yeah. You have to be careful.
Question, do you guys celebrate rain?
I do.
Because it's so dry and
Yeah.
people always, I know we always talk about the water situation, the lack of it.
The water situation,
so,
yeah.
And all of a sudden we get blessed with water.
That's what it is. It's
Should
a
that
blessing.
become a time of celebration
I do.
and happiness? Like, oh yes,
You're not driving.
Yeah, right.
With the crazy people
Yeah.
who can't handle it.
I celebrate the rain, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't like to do any driving. All right, so anybody else have anything they want to share in their take action Aries to-do list?
I'm taking action. I'm gonna
You go get something to drink? Okay, go take that action, girl. Kim, anything you want to share?
I caught myself dancing at my desk yesterday. I was like, wow, okay. okay.
Okay, good.
Because I have a desk where I can stand up, and I just was like, yeah, just busted a move while I was writing.
Busted a move.
Busted a move at
But
work.
I feel physically that I like have to move right now, and I'm not sleeping very well. I don't sleep a lot anyway, but I definitely have not been sleeping well since around like the new moonish time. Yeah.
Well, just from because I know what your moon is at zero Cancer, it's square. Right?
Yeah.
So
I
the
should be
sun
feeling some
yesterday
tension.
was square your moon. So yeah.
Yeah.
Again, backed into squares, backed into a corner.
Yeah.
Through no fault of your own, circumstances beyond your control. Backed in, so you're feeling it, right? The moon is feeling. Zero Cancer is very sensitive, so the way you felt it is to
Oh my god! And
dance it out.
I had to get up, and physically, I had to leave the office yesterday and go for a walk. Like,
You had too much energy.
Yeah, and I normally go for a walk every day. But a friend of mine was actually on the path, and she passed me, and she was like, I said hello to you, and like you were just like, yeah,
You're like, I got someplace to be. Don't mind me.
Yeah.
Someplace to be.
totally self-centered, I guess. If it's
You had some energy to work off, and you were going to do it. All right, now it's getting busy in here. All right, so let's talk about the Equinox chart. So if you're on Instagram, I have the chart on there. You can go to Astro Yoga Woman. I'm saying I have the chart up on Instagram, Astro Yoga Woman, if you want to pull that up. Take a look at it. Here it is.
Oh, okay.
And what do we look for first? The ascendant. Cancer. Okay. So who has planets or points near 5 degrees Cancer, 6 degrees Cancer?
yeah.
You do? 0 Cancer moon. Okay, I have my ascendant is at 4 degrees Cancer. So we have just me and this chart have almost the same chart. Rising sign wise.
I think I have it.
Yeah. So your 6th house, cusp of your 6th house, right there. Yeah.
Thank you.
And where do you have 5 degrees, 6 degrees Cancer?
I don't have any Cancer placements.
No, but the
actually.
cusp of which house?
Oh,
So it's the cusp of your 12th house.
12th house.
Yeah. So right now it's in your 11th house.
Oh, 11. Okay.
Currently. You see how the edge
11.
is in the 11th house?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Actually, which is the ascendant? Is the symbol for the ascendant?
Well, it's this one. So it won't say on this one, but that's the ascendant. It's Cancer.
And how do you know that?
Because that's how you read a chart.
Because this one, the one I use, tells me this. It actually says AC on it.
Oh yeah, usually they do.
Oh, okay.
Just it's right
Yeah,
there.
but it's
on
always
the
the
11th
left
house
side.
for mine.
This is the eastern horizon.
Oh, okay. So, yeah.
Okay, so you found wherever you have 6 degrees Cancer in your chart. Okay, so that's where it's
Transitioning.
sort of an impact zone. Yeah, where the
Okay.
transition. Well, no, this is the rising.
The
though.
rising.
That's not where the sun is.
Okay.
Okay, so that's setting this chart for Washington D.C. for yesterday when the sun was at 0 Aries, right?
Am I be in the 8th house then?
Yeah. Yeah, the cusp of your 8. Yeah, so it's since it's 9, it's just a little bit before that, but it's close enough that you would call it. All right. Why we look at the ascendant first, because remember how we said that that's what you show people, that's the facade. That's what the country is showing right now, is this facade of a Cancer. And what is the facade of a Cancer? Ask the Cancer rising.
Or sensitive.
Sensitive. Okay.
Nurturing.
Nurturing. Motherly. What else is Cancer known? In thinking at home, thinking about a country, what is Cancer known for? Country-wise. Patriotism.
Oh.
Patriotic. Cancer's because it's home. It's home and family and mom and apple pie and baseball. patriotism, tradition, 4th of July, yes, 4th of July, antiques, family heirlooms, tradition, patriotism, all right, nationalism.
It's like this old school idea of what it is to be a patriot,
Yes.
at least in this country.
Correct.
Okay.
An old school idea of what it means to be a patriot and an American.
American,
and
yeah.
American.
Like a family too.
Family.
What family?
Yeah. Well, and it's very clannish, right? It's a crab, so it's protective of its family. And anybody that comes towards its family that it's an enemy, it attacks, right?
That's funny because it seems so different than what you'd think about.
Yeah, but have you ever pissed off somebody who's cancer? If you've ever attacked their family, don't do
Unwittingly,
it.
but-
Unwittingly, yeah. It's like a mama bear.
Oh, okay.
It's that energy of a mama bear protecting its cubs.
Okay.
Yes, that's a Cancer. The hard shell with the pinchers to protect the soft underbelly. So, Leah, you're a Cancer. I said, if you've ever known anybody to attack a Cancer's family, how would the Cancer react?
Very defensive.
Very defensively, yes. Because that's your home, right? And cardinal, it's cardinal, so it takes action, right? It takes action to protect the home, to protect the family. In this case, takes action to protect the homeland, the motherland, right? So something to be aware of that. So with the Cancer rising, what's the chart ruler?
Oh, Capricorn.
What rules Cancer?
The moon.
The moon. So the chart ruler is whatever the ascendant ruler is. And so we would look for, indicative of this chart then, would be the moon. So the moon is in the 11th house. And it's in Taurus. So 8 degrees Taurus. Okay, so the moon in the 11th house, the moon is the people anyway. In the 11th house, the people. So it's we the people. Okay, so remember that. We the people.
Interesting.
And this is the chart of the country. And it's we the people in the 11th house of groups. It's the Aquarius house. So groups, humanitarian, higher ideals, the internet, technology, all of the social media stuff. And then Taurus, values, right? Where's my money? Like my security, my values, my worth. Okay? Something interesting, several things interesting. When you look at a chart, first you look at the ascendant, and then you look to see if there's anything on the angles. So what are the angles? These are the cardinal points. Right? So Aries is the first angle. And then at the bottom of the chart would be the Cancer, right? So the 4th house cusp is the IC, Ilium Coli. The next angle is the 7th house cusp, or the descendant. Right? And then the top of the chart is the MC, or the 10th house cusp. So your personal self, your physical body, and then your partner. Okay, your career, your public life, your private life. So Capricorn, Cancer. Okay, so when there are planets near the angles, they're significant. All right. We can see right at the top of the chart here, we have Neptune conjunct the angle. And look at the degree. 16 degrees, let's see, 14 degrees Pisces, and then the midheaven, 14 degrees Pisces. Okay, so 1432 Neptune, and then the MC is 1459, so less than 30 minutes away from an exact conjunction. What is Neptune?
Pisces.
It rules Pisces. What does it represent?
Dreams.
Dreams.
Things that's not real.
Things that aren't real. Illusion.
Illusion.
Delusion. What's the word? Obfuscate? Obfuscate? Where you intentionally make it cloudy, right? Mystical, spiritual,
Yeah,
So this is the chart for right now
For yesterday,
for Washington D.C.
yes,
Okay.
for the country.
Okay.
So this is the start of the new year for the country. It's like a solar return, so to speak, but astrologically, set for DC. Okay, so Neptune at the top of the chart. Now, we bring back the chart from the winter solstice, and we again have a water sign rising, so it's very sensitive, emotional, intuitive, and look, lo and behold, what planet is conjunct the angle? Neptune. So what was playing out 3 months ago that was just starting to be seen, now top of the chart. Lies, cover-ups, not telling the truth, say one thing, do another, fake news, who knows what's true, downgrade the media so nobody believes it. There's one story and then there's another story of how it's supposed to be.
I'm confused because that's been happening for the last year.
Oh, for
But
more than
is
that.
it right? I mean, it's built up.
Yes.
So does that mean now it's having more of an impact on those who are seeing
Well, what
it
this
'cause
means,
it's out?
right. And so what you could do is take this chart and overlay it with the United States, right, and see where that would be playing out in the United States chart. And there's lots of different ideas of what the actual chart is. Most people go with the what's called the Sibley chart, which has Sagittarius rising. And so then you would see where those planets would fall in that chart. But for now, we're just looking at this chart by itself. And so with this Neptune at the top, it was here and now it's moved up, and so now it's out that there's lying happening, like the collusion and all these different things of who's being indicted and who's not, and Stormy Daniels, and who's paid off and who isn't. So it's all it's still not clear, but it's out in public. It's out in the open. And we've got Mercury going retrograde, tomorrow? Yeah, right.
Already?
3 times a year.
Can we just
3
get
times
over
a
this?
year. Right? And so that adds to that confusion, to the mysticism, to the unreal. And doesn't it seem unreal? Yeah. It seems like we're trapped in a reality
Twilight
TV
Zone,
show,
yeah.
Twilight Zone, or what is that Jim Carrey movie where it was always the same day, or no, not Groundhog Day, with that one too.
No, I know
Jim,
what you're talking about though. Yeah.
it was his Truman.
He's on a TV
Truman Show, yes.
Yeah, everything's fake.
Yes.
On a set.
I'd almost wonder, is this some sort of cosmic Truman Show?
Yeah.
Or is it, let's just see how the sheep will react to this now, right? It does feel like that sometimes, doesn't it? And then also on the angle, we have 2 planets. I'll put it up at the chart here. See if you can see. You can see. What do we see? So we're looking at the descendant now.
Oh, okay.
Mars and Saturn. Mars and Saturn.
Conjunct or not?
Yes, it is. So what does Mars represent? Remember we talked about Aries. War.
Action.
Okay, war and action. Hot-headed, bombastic, arrogant. And what does Saturn represent? Discipline, structure, time, karma, constraint, work, restriction. So the 7th house is what? Relationships, partnerships. So this could suggest that our partners, our allies, don't see us in a good light. They don't see us being people who are peaceful. You want to scoot up? They might see us as somebody who's combative, who wants to go to war. I'll see you around there. That's my friend Raph.
Hi.
And so what this says is Mars conjunct Saturn. You could use this as concentrated effort to win the race, right? These astrological energies are happening, whether we like it or not, but we get to choose what we do with it. Right? So this is a challenging aspect. These are the two malefics together, right, on the partnership house. So you might be having some difficulties with partners lately. Or there might be some change in partnership status in our life. We might be at war or at odds, or we might feel restricted or constricted by partners. Okay? But we can use this for, we're planting seeds, we're starting new growth, we're starting anew. We can use this to direct our energy, right? And especially moving into Mercury retrograde. Use this constriction of Saturn to go inward and go, okay, I'm planting these seeds. Let me do it with as much intention as I can. Let me see what kind of outcome I want to have. You know, what's the end result of these efforts that I'm making so that I can reap the harvest that I want to reap down the road in the fall. And then this this Saturn-Mars conjunction and conjunct the descendant is trine this the moon, you know, of this chart. So that Saturn and Mars are both in Capricorn. Mars newly in Capricorn, like 1 degree Capricorn. Mars is happy there, by the way, because it likes to get shit done, basically. And Capricorn likes to get shit done too. So this is a good time to get your to-do lists, get your projects up and going.
Even with the
Is it
retrograde.
Even with the
exalted?
Pardon me?
It's exalted.
I think it is, yeah, exalted in Capricorn. So because it's retrograde, it's like clear out your mind, right? It's internal work, like what needs to be let go, what habits or beliefs or behaviors internally needs to be cleaned out, like cleaning your closet, feng shui. You create new growth so you can have more to come in. And so using that constriction and this retrograde time to get clear, like journal and set your goals, track your goals. You know, what they say is what gets measured gets done. So if you want to exercise, well, and I remember I said put it on your calendar. Oh, I want to exercise 3 times this week. Okay, well, then you measure it. Oh, I only did it once. All right, well, it's a start. But if you don't measure it, it doesn't get done. Whatever gets measured gets done. So set up some kind of goal tracking or measurement, you know, create an accountability partner so you can make sure you use this time to your advantage. And then we look at the planets in any of those angular houses. What's happening at the very top of the chart?
Squaring it. You mean also?
There's a lot of planets up there, right? In the 10th house. It's the 10th house. So that's career, that's public acclaim. So the United States, it would suggest, feels like it's on the top of its game. Like it feels like, oh, we're a world power, we've got this, you know, we've got Korea, North Korea coming to the table, you know, we're large and in charge. However, it's conjunct, out of sign conjunction, Chiron. So Chiron is at the tail end of Pisces there, Sun at 0 Aries, okay? So that's a wounding. So it's suggesting some sort of wounding, that we're being seen for our wounds. And I think that's in a sense true. Like we've gotten, like our rhetoric has increased lately, and we've become bombastic and arrogant and egotistical, more so than normal. And it's showing our wound. So this might be saying that it's time to heal that wound, and it's going to happen in a very public way. Questions, comments so far?